Hello and welcome to Brockley News, Radio Brockley's weekly show, keeping you up to date with all you need to know about what's happening in and around the hospital. I'm Alan Joyce, and coming up tonight we'll hear from one of our patients, Mimi Newbon, who volunteers for Waterways Experiences, who are a charity who run canal trips for wheelchair users. We'll also hear from Karen Alligan, who's been nominated for a very special award. She's one of our nurses. And we'll also be hearing from 13-year-old Caitlin Kydd, an ex-patient of the hospital, who now forms an inspirational part of the hospital's Make It Possible campaign. Then at 7:30, your chance to win some super Radio Brockley goodies without leaving your bed on Bedside Bingo. David Rauch will be here calling out the numbers. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, it's all your choice of tunes on the Sunday Request Show with Keith Reeve. So stay tuned to London's official #1 hospital radio station, your #1 recuperation station, Radio Brockley. So first tonight we hear from one of our current patients, Mimi Newbon, who is a volunteer for an organisation called Waterways Experiences. She's been involved with them for a number of years now, and our reporter Keith Reeve went along to find out more. I'm with Mimi Newbon from the Waterways Experiences. Hi Mimi.
Hiya, it's nice to meet you, Keith.
And you. Thank you very much for giving me your time today. So tell us, what is the Waterways Experience?
Waterways Experiences is a charity where we run 3 canal boats out of Nash Mills in Hemel Hempstead, and they are as fully accessible as we can possibly make them. So we've got wheelchair lifts on all of our boats, both at the front and the back, or bow and stern, if you want to be technical. But basically it makes it completely accessible so that anybody with any physical disabilities or difficulties can participate as fully as possible.
Okay, and is there a limit to how many people with a disability you can take per boat?
It depends on the trip and what's been arranged with the booking team. Generally speaking, no. We've had large numbers, and we just adjust how many of the permanent benches are actually on the boat at any given time, because we can remove benches. So rather than keeping them all on, if we know we've got 3-4 wheelchair users in a group, we remove some of those to give extra space for that. So there's no real limit to it, no.
Okay, great. And how long's the organisation, which is a charity, I believe, been running?
It is a charity. We are in our 2nd year now, which is exciting. It's been going very well. We're completely volunteer-led. We've got no paid staff whatsoever. We took over from a sort of previous incarnation of the charity, which I volunteered for prior to becoming disabled myself, which it's been an interesting experience going back, the things that I spot now that I didn't before. But it's a truly wonderful thing. The canals, just the whole pace of life is much slower when you're on a canal boat, and you just tend to melt into what's going on around you, the scenery, and the boats, your maximum speed generally is approximately 4 miles an hour, so you're really not going terribly quickly, but it's a very relaxed atmosphere about it, so it's good.
I was just going to ask you, what are the benefits of Waterways Experiences? And I think you've pretty much answered that. So I've never been on a canal boat of any form.
Yes.
So I think this sounds fantastic. So can anybody join in a trip or join the organisation?
Anybody can come on a trip. We have different rates in terms of paying between priority groups, which covers people with disabilities and things like that, and if you have a private group who are fully able-bodied, there are slightly different rates, and it's slightly discretionary on the part of the bookings team, but generally speaking, as long as when you contact the bookings team, you make sure that they are aware, they should be able to make sure that the priority rate is assigned to the right people. But the price also includes having a skipper and crew on board, which means that you can be as involved or not involved as you want to be. So you can literally either just chug along, making yourself cups of tea or whatever you like, or you can actually come out, have a go at steering, have a go with the locks, and anything you like, really. The only rules really are just listen to what the skipper's instructions are. There are ramps for getting on and off at the back, and as I said earlier, the wheelchair lifts at the front and the back as well. which means that it's completely possible for you to access all areas, really. And also the bathrooms are full wet room bathrooms, so if there were such a thing as falling in, which occasionally happens but not very often, it's normally one of the leaders or someone like that who ends up doing something a bit daft at the wrong moment who's fallen in. Actually, normally my godfather, strangely enough. And we tend to just say, right, straight in for a shower, just for safety's sake. But we're hoping to start doing more residential trips as we enter into the third year. So that's going to be something that hopefully will be a watch this space, and you'll be able to book the boats for longer. Because at the moment we do half-day trips or full-day trips. Half-day is about 4 hours. Full-day, you kind of arrange your start and stop times with the bookings team as you would like. And we try to accommodate as much as we possibly can. But obviously being volunteer only, there are some restrictions simply in as much as who's available and when. But the only day we specifically say we don't operate at all, I think generally is we say Christmas Day. But other than that, we tend to do things all year round.
Okay, that sounds great. So what's the furthest you can get in, for example, a day trip?
That's a difficult question because it very much depends on some choices. So you can choose to bring your own food, or we have quite good relationships with a couple of pubs that are on the canal.
Excellent.
As well as a fish and chip shop. But in terms of the pubs sometimes will lay out a buffet and stuff, and that then is an extra cost that's arranged with the pub. But the bookings kit team can actually phone and do the arrangements for you, and then we'll let you know the cost of that, so that you can stop off and have a meal partway through your trip, and obviously that will then determine time. The other determination for time is purely in terms of where there are points for turning round, because these aren't narrow boats, these are broad beam boats, and you need that little bit more space for turning them round, because they're about 12 foot wide, and I can't remember quite exactly what the length is, but it's about as long as you can go with canal boats pretty much. And so it's you have to find what's known as a winding hole to be able to turn around in. And so depending on where the turning point is and whether you've stopped at a pub or for fish and chips, but obviously pub's your preference by the sound of it.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
That means that that will kind of dictate where you might get to.
Well, it sounds fantastic. I'm absolutely flabbergasted that there should be such a great facility literally almost on our doorstep, just based up at Hemel, which is just a few miles up the road. And I think we need to investigate this further and perhaps organise a day trip or something with Radio Brockley on board and a few other people to partake. So let's see if we can organise that.
We'd love to have you along, definitely. That would be brilliant.
So Mimi, if our listener wants to find out more about this or perhaps take a trip, how do they get hold of you?
Basically, we've got a website which is www.wexp.org.uk, and you can look up the details there, including pricing and everything else. Coming up, we'll have our seasonal cruises with mulled wine and mince pies, which may interest some people. And basically, if you just look on there, there's the bookings team email and there's the bookings team phone number, and you literally just give them a call. So whether you are a disabled person or somebody who has a physical challenge at the moment or not, you're welcome to contact the team. We're open to any people coming along. The price will just be determined depending on whether you fall into, as a charity, what counts as our priority group aspect. But just check out the website, and we'd love to see more people come along.
Okay, Mimi, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Keith.
Big thanks to Mimi there. And just to recap on that website address, if you want to find out more details, it's wexp.org.uk.
Radio Brockley, officially London's #1 hospital radio station.
Now, next tonight, we hear from Karen Alligan, who works in the foot and ankle department and has been nominated for a very special award. Our reporter Emily Colebrook talked to her to find out more.
Right, I'm with Karen Alligan, who's part of the foot and ankle team here, and she's the lead nurse. So how are you, Karen?
I'm very well, thank you.
So what made you want to become a nurse?
Ever since I can remember, I've wanted to do nursing, and I went to a careers evening and there were some nurses there, and they said, "Why do you want to be a nurse?" And I said, "I want to care for people." And they went, "That's not enough. Just wanted to care for people." But it's just something I've always wanted to do. So.
And how long have you been a nurse for now?
I qualified in 91, so a long time, too long.
And what made you want to get into the foot and ankle unit here?
I broke my leg when I was about 13. Worked in a shoe shop when I left school, but I don't know why I ended up doing foot and ankle, really. I liked orthopaedics. I liked looking after those sorts of patients, so my training.
When did you start becoming the lead nurse? When did you get this promotion or this job?
I've been working for the foot and ankle unit for about 6 years. Prior to that, I was a hip and knee nurse specialist. I've been a bed manager, I've been a ward manager here at Stanmore, and then I've done some medicine and some other orthopaedic wards.
How long have you been working at Stanmore for?
About 16, 17 years.
And has the hospital changed since we started?
The activity's increased, the demands on staff has increased, the patients have become more complex, but the hospital probably hasn't changed.
Right. So, what do you enjoy about nursing particularly?
I love the patient contact. I love building relationships with the patients, being their advocate. Especially in foot and ankle, I'm sort of the link between all the different services. So they have my contact details. If they've got concerns once they've seen the consultant and need something explaining, they phone me for that. If they've got concerns about their symptoms post-op, they've got a wound that looks infected or a toe that's a bit sore, they phone me. So it's just building up that relationship, really. I love being a nurse, and I love working with patients. I don't want to be a director of nursing. I don't want to be a service manager. I like patients, and that's why I became a nurse.
Right. So we've been told that you are nominated for the Nursing Times Nurse of the Year award. So what did you think when you were told this?
I was nominated about April time, which was very exciting. And with my matron, my manager, we completed a document that just explained what I do with my service and how the service has developed. And then I was at the park with my daughter, and I got a phone call saying I'd been shortlisted, and I was sort of a bit shell-shocked. I'm Karen, I'm a nurse, and I love my job, but Nurse of the Year, it just seems pretty amazing, really. So very humbled, very thankful for all the people I've worked with. You know, I work with now and I've worked with previously, but I just enjoy my job, so it's just doing my job.
Do you know anyone else that has ever been nominated for this award before?
I think there was 3 of us that were nominated from here this year, but other than that, no, I don't know of anybody else.
So what do you think? I was asking about maybe some nursing stuff. So currently there'd be a change to the NMC's Nursing and Midwifery Council for listeners, changing the revalidation thing. So what do you think about that?
I think it's important. I think we can get stuck doing our job, and are we fully educated? Are we fully developed? Are we continuing to update ourselves? Are we reading? Are we networking with other nurses? So I think that's what we need to do. We need to prove that we are up to date with all our studies and things.
And how do you feel like the nursing training has changed over the years as well?
In my job, because I work quite independently, I don't mentor students now. I have occasional students that come and visit and spend days with me. Student nurses miss out on the ward work, and we were part of the numbers. When I was trained, we was part of the numbers, and I think nursing should be a degree qualification, and we should be shouting from the rooftops that we're nurses and we do a fantastic job, really. We're part of a team. I'm part of a team. My job's as important as the consultants to the secretaries, so I think if we weren't all here together working as a team, the patient wouldn't get a very good experience. So.
Do you think the nurse's role has developed throughout the years, so less of a senior status to doctors, but more working equally with doctors?
I think I work equally with the doctors in my team, and I think they value my input into the team. And I think, as a team we work well together.
So when do you find out about if you've won or not?
I've got an interview in September. And that would just be with some of the people at Nursing Times, and that's to explain the information we sent in originally, just to go through that and talk about the service, talk about how the service is developed, what my role is, things. And then sometime in November there's a gala dinner, and that will be announced, so 8 shortlisted, so they're quite exciting.
What's the criteria for being nominated for this award?
I think it's somebody that's, from what I can gather, it's somebody that's made changes to practice, developed a service. I'm not really sure, because I suppose I didn't nominate myself, so my matron nominated me. Matron Deirdre Cole, she nominated me for the award, and then a few of us for the award, and then I suppose Nursing Times go through the applicants and then make a decision. So.
And is there like a first prize, second prize, third prize, or just one prize?
I think it's just the ethos of being nominated and shortlisted and going to the awards, really. So
with the hospital wise, can you be nominated throughout the whole of the UK, or is it just London area? Or
this was Nursing Time Awards for the UK, so there's different categories. So there's cancer nursing, there's urology nursing, but this is the specific category that I'm in. It's Nursing Times Nurse of the Year. Quite good. There's Team of the Year and those sorts of things. So,
would you recommend, I don't know, other student nurses maybe, if they want to get involved with foot and ankle or even orthopaedic?
I think I liked orthopaedics when I was a student nurse because patients weren't ill in a sense. They'd got conditions, so they got pain in their knees or fractures, or they came in disabled, and after a period of rehabilitation, we made them better, gave them back their independence really. But I think nursing is very diverse, from being a mental health nurse to being a foot and ankle nurse. There's so much out there, and I think when you start nursing you don't realise where your career is going to take you. I didn't realise I'd become a foot and ankle lead nurse. My daughter, who's 15, thinks it's the worst thing in the world that, Mum, you look at feet every day of the week. She thinks it's just disgusting, but I love it. So
especially with the qualification being a degree, do you think it's maybe more difficult or more off-putting for people that want to become a nurse to be a nurse because of all the work they have to do academically now?
I think so, but I think nursing's a vocation, and I think some nurses perhaps who would be fantastic nurses academically wouldn't cope with the degree. Whether I would have coped all those years ago with it, I've done my degree since qualifying. But yeah, perhaps some people are put off a bit by it. But I think it's something that you need to have inside you, that you want to nurse and you want to care for people.
So, because we're a radio, we'd like to ask about music and everything. So, what music did you ever used to like, or do you like now?
In my teens, I was a bit of a Boy George and a Duran Duran fan. Now, Robbie Williams, I should think, and Angels used to be our theme song when I was ward manager of dogs. So every Christmas party would be jumping around to Angels. I suppose now it's got to be anything related to feet, hasn't it? So,
well, if you want it to relate to feet. Well, what song would you? Because we also like to have requests and everything. So we did wondered if Footloose would be a good.
Footloose will be fine, yeah.
Because that's foot in the title.
Yeah, of course.
Have you seen anyone live or anything like that?
Been to see Robbie Williams. Went with my friend years ago to see S Club 7. Other than that, not a lot really. Quite a sheltered musical history.
Right, so thank you so much for giving us this interview, Karen. So will you let us know?
Of course, yeah. I'll let you know anyway. I'm very proud to be nominated and shortlisted. So I think even if I don't win the award, I think for the hospital and for myself, my career, it's fantastic. So, but yeah, nursing is a good profession, and I just think we should sing it from the rooftops that we do a good job. So.
All right, thank you very much, and we'll keep you updated on Karen's progress throughout till November when we find out, hopefully. So fingers crossed from us at radio.
Yeah, the very best of luck to Karen Alligan there. Fingers crossed for her in November. This is Radio Brockley, and it's Brockley News. Don't forget, still to come this evening, we have Bedside Bingo. That's coming up in just about 12 minutes from now. Your chance to win some super Radio Brockley goodies, so good luck if you're playing along. David Rouch will be calling out the numbers. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, it's all your choice of tunes on the Sunday Request Show, hosted by Keith Reeve with all the patient reps.
The RNOH charity have launched a fundraising project called Make It Possible, and you can help. The campaign hopes to encourage more people to raise money for the much-needed redevelopment of the hospital here in Stanmore, so that we can continue our vital work. You can help people like Caitlin, who was given a special leg when she was 7, and a special arm when she was 11. The RNOH saves her life twice. From pioneering breakthroughs to lifelong care, from children to war veterans, with your help, we can continue to do invaluable orthopaedic work, rebuilding people's lives. To support the RNOH charity, simply text RNOH 30, £5 to 770 to donate £5, or visit the RNOH charity website at rnohcharity.org. You can help make it possible for future patients here at the RNOH.
is Radio Brockley.
Well, finally tonight on Brockley News, we hear from the girl who was mentioned in that advert, Caitlin Kydd, an ex-patient here at the RNOH, whose face you may have seen on posters around the hospital. And soon, in fact, you may see her on billboards right across London. She came in to speak to our reporter, Keith Reed.
Well, I'm really pleased to be joined by Caitlin Kydd, who's one of the faces of the current RNOH Make It Happen campaign. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you very much for sparing the time. I was very pleased to see your Red Arrows badge on your hat, because I saw them recently at a display at Clacton. They're always great to watch. Have you actually met the Red Arrows?
No, but I have seen them fly over a few times, but no, they're absolutely amazing.
Yeah, they are, aren't they? Tremendous. So, can you tell me a little bit about your experiences here at the RNOH?
Well, when I was 7, I was diagnosed with bone cancer in my right leg, which meant that after having chemotherapy, I would have to come here and have my bone replaced with a titanium prosthesis. But I couldn't have been at a better hospital, because this is by far the most incredible hospital I've ever been at, and I've been at quite a few hospitals. But no, it's absolutely amazing the work that they do here. It's just incredible. I mean, they give people their lives back and let them walk or write or whatever, and it's absolutely amazing.
So tell me a little bit more about your replacement bone, effectively. How does it work?
Well, it's got a motor inside it, which has a magnet in it, which when I put my leg into a sort of mini MRI machine, a magnet then turns the screw inside the motor, which then lengthens my leg, and it's non-invasive, and it's absolutely amazing.
Fantastic.
Because it means that I can get my leg grown whenever I need it, which is great.
Yeah, so as you grow,
my leg grows with me,
the leg grows with you, so they haven't got to take you apart all the time.
No.
And that's absolutely tremendous, isn't it?
It is, it's absolutely amazing.
And you had that done when you were 7?
Yes, when I was 7, yeah.
Wow, that's incredible. So don't mind me asking, how old are you now?
I'm 13.
And you've still got the same replacement bit of your leg?
It's still the same bit of metal.
Fantastic, fantastic. And is that your only time you've been here at the RNOH?
No, I then relapsed again, unfortunately, when I was 11 with another tumour in my right arm, unfortunately, which again, after chemotherapy, led to having my humerus replaced with another titanium prosthesis.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I've got 2 bits of metal in me.
Wow. So does that one extend with you as well?
It does extend, however, because my arm is smaller than my leg, unfortunately, instead of having a motor, it's a crank, which means that when eventually I do need my arm lengthened, it means that I'll have to have a small operation to lengthen it again.
Okay, so I've got to ask you this question, because I've got metal bits as well, but not as many as you. Do you ever set off metal detectors at airports and things?
Not so far, no. No, a few of my friends have metal in them, and they've set off detectors at airports, but so far I haven't. So yeah.
All right, good, because I did once many years ago. I think not long after they first introduced them, and I had some explaining to do. I have to say it was a tricky one. And after that, I started to carry an X-ray with me to prove to customs that, look, I've got this.
I'm not lying.
No, that's right. I'm not smuggling some terrible thing into the aircraft or out of the aircraft. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So I understand that you hold an annual cake sale to raise funds for the RNOH charity.
Yes, I do, but it's not just a cake sale. It's also a non-uniform day at my school, which I call Happy to Be Me Day, because I've gone through all this and I've learnt to live with who I am and be happy about myself. So I like to have a day when everyone can come in with their own clothes, with their own personality, and just be happy for who they are, no matter if they've got glasses or freckles or anything, because I've got 2 bits of metal on me, but I love who I am, and everyone else should too.
Yeah, quite right. I quite agree with that. So which school's that then?
It's the Folkestone School for Girls down where I live in Folkestone.
In sunny Kent?
Yes, sunny Kent.
Excellent. So how much have you raised from these events over the last few years?
It's been around about £1,800, which is absolutely amazing. And when we added it up, I was like, I was shocked how much we'd actually raised, because we've been doing it for 5 years now, to celebrate my remission dates, and yeah, the figure's absolutely incredible. And I mean, if you know, it's not just me fundraising, it's loads of other people out there, and if we all raise, you know, £100, then that's, every little helps.
Absolutely, that's tremendous effort. Thank you very much for that. Brilliant.
That's okay.
Now, I think when you were in the hospital recently, or you met the RNOH patron, Princess Eugenie, was that when you were in the Children's HDU?
I had no, it was actually afterwards, when I had finished recovering, but that was absolutely amazing to meet her. She's so nice and she's so genuine, and it was so special to be able to meet her. I mean, it's not every day when you meet royalty, is it?
No.
But yeah, that was absolutely incredible. That was amazing. Yeah.
Did you actually get to speak to her?
Yeah, I did. It was so surreal, because she's just, we're just talking normally, and it's like, this isn't how it goes. Like, I don't speak to you, you don't speak to me, kind of thing. But no, it was absolutely amazing.
Can you remember what you said? What she said to you?
No, it's like as soon as we finished talking, it was like, no, completely forgotten it already, because it's you just kind of go with the moment, and then afterwards it's like, did that actually happen? was I awake for that, or was I dreaming?
Fantastic. That must be a nice experience. I didn't actually get a chance to meet her when she was here a few years ago. I did actually come very close. In fact, I nearly knocked her over once. She turned around unexpectedly, and I was standing behind her, and I turned around at the same time. We were nearly hit head on. I thought, whoops, I'm not sure how that would go down. But thankfully the collision was avoided, so that's good stuff. So I believe you're here today because you're involved with something else with the RNOH charity. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. The RNOH campaign Make It Possible, I helped with by doing a photo shoot for them, which was so much fun, and I absolutely loved it. And I just, any way I can to help the hospital, I always like to do, because I mean, they've given me so much. I mean, they've allowed me to walk and get on with my life, so I feel that if I can help them, even though it's tiny compared to what they've given me, then I like to give back what I can. So,
that's smashing. That's really nice. that is absolutely marvellous. Thank you very much for thinking that way. So what can I ask, what this morning you gave the charity some money, I believe, this morning. Was that another one of your school events?
Yes, that was my most recent Happy to Be Me Day. Excuse me. Yes, I think we raised just over £300, which was absolutely amazing.
Wow.
But yes.
Well, that's fantastic, and please thank all the people that have contributed to that when you're back at school.
I will do.
Thank you to them, because everybody, you know, has a role to play, and that's tremendous. Now, you mentioned just now you're on this poster campaign. I've seen your posters around the hospital. In fact, a publication I was involved with, which is a pictorial history of the hospital, your picture's in the back page there to promote people to make donations. So yes, very good, great picture. And I understand, though, you're actually going London-wide very shortly.
Yes, apparently. Apparently I'm going to be on buses.
Brilliant.
London buses, which I still can't believe. It's like, I just, you know, but buses are for advertising movies and CDs and things like that. And it's just like, it would just be really weird to just see myself on a bus. It's just like, okay.
Fantastic. It would be a good laugh is if you actually went onto one of the buses and see if anybody actually recognises that this girl here is the same that's on the side of the bus. That would be absolutely brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Caitlin, for sparing the time to come and speak to me today.
That's okay.
I wish you all the best for the future.
Thank you.
And in the nicest possible way, I hope you don't have to be a patient here again, but please, you know, keep up the good work for the RNOH and everything that you and your family and your friends and folks are doing, because it is greatly appreciated by everybody that's here now and in the future.
Thank you. Always lovely to be here. Always a pleasure.
Wonderful. Thank you very much indeed.
That's okay.
What an inspirational young lady, and look out for her on a bus near you soon then. Well done, Caitlin, for everything you're doing for the RNOH. Don't forget you can catch up with that and previous editions of Brockley News by following the links from our website. Go to radiobrockley.org and follow the links to our YouTube website from there. And if there's anything else happening here in the hospital that you want to find out more about, you can call us on extension 5483 and we'll try and cover it on future editions. Up next on Radio Brockley, it's Bedside Bingo, your chance to win some super Radio Brockley goodies with David Rauch. Good luck if you're playing along. And then at 8 o'clock tonight, it's all your choice of tunes on the Sunday Request Show with Keith Reeve. Brockley News returns at the same time next week. From me, Alan Joyce. Good night.